Welcome to the 2017 Nebraska Track and Field Preview, presented by Nebraska Elite Track Club, hosted by this guy in the beard, Dustin Llewellyn. First, let's look at the Nebraska Track and Field Festival. First annual, first time, going to be legend, wait for it, dairy. Friday, April 21st, 2017, the best of the best athletes, Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, from all over the state are going to descend upon this meet. It is going to be epic. The website is right here. Check it out. It is by invite, and they only take the top times and marks to enter in. So this is a chance where you can see those hypotheticals that we always play out of who has the best time, who's the all-class winner. Now they get to run together. My hope is that that 2 mile or mile that I get to see Taylor Summers, Anna Jennings, Taya Skelton, Riley Rice, Cameron Huckey, Maisie Larson, Whitney Risen, and a host of others in a 2 mile or mile race that will be for the ages. Never been done before. All right, now let's move on as I transition to the Nebraska Elite Track Club shirt, which you can purchase on our website, www.nebraskaelitetc.org. Special thanks first and foremost goes to my wife, who has the kids right now and took them to the playground so that we could do this. All the graphics, anything that looks cool, all her. Anything on the website, all her. I'd like to thank our partners and donors for making this possible and walking alongside us with this journey. Specifically Andy of Red Dirt in Omaha and Ann of Lincoln Running Company, and a host of parents and athletes who have contributed time, effort, and money to kind of get this off and running, kind of my dream and my journey, and I'm so glad that there are so many that are walking alongside me because I definitely need the help. Also like to thank Jay Slagle for giving his time and volunteering to interview the top distance runners in the state. You can check out his column that he does for us, Tales of a Runner, looking at the best runners in the state and basically what makes them them. Beyond just running as well. What makes them an overall well-rounded person? You're going to see one of my dogs maybe in the side. That's Boulder. Also like to thank all the coaches and student athletes who have made this possible. And I'd like to thank 2 coaches in particular, and there are a host of others. But Coach Fowler of Adams Central and Coach Hazelhorst of Papio South. Both of these coaches lead with the servant heart. They're filled with Christ, and that just exudes. And I have turned to them so many times for just guidance and help and understanding, and was just mesmerized by just them and how they live life. If my kids, if they grow up and would be in track and field or cross country, I would love for them to be coached by them or be coached by people like them because they are amazing. Coach H of Papio South, he's done a couple clinics for us and talked about the mental training side of things. And one of the books that he brought out to our camp this year at Platte River State Park was Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Medcalf. Coaches, listen, please, I'm begging, I'm pleading. Trust me, you're going to want to get this book for your kids and yourself to read and to go through so they can understand the process and understand it's more about just the result or the mark or the time, that it's who you become in that journey. It's not that destination. And I know those sound cliche, but this book is going to help you and help your athletes realize that they're loved, that they matter, that unconditional love is there regardless of how fast they run or high they jump or how far they throw and implement. That book turned me on to Burn Your Goals and then the Training Principle. Joshua Medcalf, Jamie Gilbert, and Lucas Jaden are part of Train to Be Clutch. Look it up on their website, traintobeclutch.com. amazing stuff. It's impacted my life, not just as a coach or a teacher, but as a father, as a husband, as a friend, basically, in all those aspects, and basically giving me a fuller understanding of my role in the world, and that's to love, to serve, and to care. And that's all thanks to Coach Fowler and Coach H. That, thank you guys so much. All right, so here's how the format's going to be. We're going to go through the girls' side first, and we'll go Class D, Class C, B, and A. We're going to look at the top 3 teams from last year, projected then who's going to win 2017, who I think is going to win, looking at people who have left, who's coming back. I don't know all the freshmen and maybe people who went out for a different sport last year coming into the track. So we'll see how close at the end of the year I am to these projections. And then we'll look at 1 or 2 athletes in each class to kind of watch and to look at both for the year but state. And there are so many more than that. But to kind of put this into a 15 to 20 minute thing, which hopefully this is, maybe even less time, that we had to do that. So, top 3 from 2016. We have Giltner, 62.5 points. North Central, 50 points. BDS, Bruning, Davenport, Chickley. And the reason I know that is thanks to Joe Philippi and the Philippi family who run the grocery store in Bruning. Now, BDS is going to lose one of the best vaulters and athletes in the state, Catherine Mick. So those points are going to be hard to be made up. However, I think we're going to have a repeat here, and that's going to be the Giltner Hornets, your projected 2017 winner. And some athletes to watch for are Claire Cornell. She is from Elm Creek. She placed first in the long jump last year, 8th in the 100-meter dash, also competed in the 400 and 200. And then we have Emery Swan from Brady, kind of the long sprints. 200, 400, 800. She placed first in the 800, third in the 400, and then competed in the 2 and the 4x4. These are just 2 athletes to look for in Class D girls. Class C girls. Last year, Chase County, by the narrowest of margins, 0.5. Crofton with 53. Lincoln Luther with 44. I've got projected Crofton to move up. The Crofton Warriors to overtake Chase County as state champions this year. And a few people to watch for. On the distance side first is from Ainsworth, Riley Rice. She won state cross country this year, but her times last year as an 8th grader would have placed her in the meet. So there's an athlete to watch. And then these are one of the athletes that regardless of class or regardless of gender, you want to watch Addison Henry compete. She's from Arcadia Loop City. Amazing young lady. She was first in discus last year, 2nd in shot put. But if you get a chance to see her compete, you want to take that opportunity. Something special, and she's extremely special, as all of these young ladies and gentlemen are. So moving on to Class B. Top 3, we have Waverly, York, and Northwest. Waverly and York both lose some major points. Waverly with the Cook sisters of Ashley and Amanda. York losing Erin Lee, who's now competing at Kansas State. Those 2 teams are going to need to find some other points at state. Ultimately, I've got the 4th place team from last year, which was Gretna, finishing just behind Northwest as the 2017 state Class B girls track and field champions, the Gretna Dragons, who are kind of led by Maisie Larson, their distance runner. Finished right behind Erin Lee last year. I think she will expand in that mile, 2 mile, and maybe even that 800. Who knows what coaches and her are thinking. But then you have Micah Breeze. And I apologize if I get any names wrong here. Micah Breeze is from Seward. She placed first in the 100 and 200. So those are just 2 athletes to look at. And you can always count on Seward for having distance and middle distance athletes out there. Always in a wonderful program that they've had. And just some special people out in Seward. Finishing up the girls' side, Class A. It was close last year. .5. Kearney 68.5. Millard South 67. Millard West with 60. All teams lose some people through graduation. And ultimately, I was unable to decide who was going to win, so I projected 2 teams. I don't think it's going to be a tie. You never know, that could happen. But we've got Millard West Wildcats and the Kearney Bearcats as 2 teams that I think are going to win. Now, there are other teams. I think Millard South is going to be up there. I think Omaha North, Papio La Vista South, and a few more. So it's going to be a close call. It may be whoever can get to that 60 to 65 range this year. Who knows? Usually it's around 70, as we can see last year. But an athlete to watch for, and I'm a little biased because I'm a former coach, is Taylor Summers. She won the mile and 2 mile last year, second in the 800. She's won state cross the last 2 years and the Gatorade Athlete of the Year for cross country the last 2 years as well. So that's an athlete to watch out for just through the season and then beyond. All right, let's transition to the Class D boys. Last year, we have High Plains Community with 47, edging Heartland by 3 points with 44, North Central with 38. Heartland returns all state points, so I have them projected, the Huskies of Heartland, the Heartland Huskies, as your 2017 state champions. Athletes to watch for: Lance Moore from Mullen. He was first in the 100 high hurdles, second in the 300 low hurdles last year. So that's just one of the athletes to watch for in Class D. Class C boys. Top 3 from last year: Bishop Newman with 70, Thayer Central with 55, and Aquinas Catholic also with 55. So there you have a tie for second place. I got Bishop Newman, though, repeating, the Cavaliers of Bishop Newman. Some athletes to watch for on the Class C side: Noah Vidral, hurdles and sprints, and then Fallon Sanford for pole vault. Now, Noah is from Bishop Newman. He was second in the 110 high hurdles and the 400, and then first in the 300 low hurdles. Junior last year, going to be senior this year, so some top end points there. Fallon Sanford for pole vault is from Dundee County, Stratton. Pole vaulted last year 14 feet 10 inches. Probably a goal this year is going to be over that 15-foot mark, which is rare in the state. So he's a tremendous athlete to watch for. Class B boys, top 3, which we have 4 up there because another tie, but this time it was for third. You got York with 46, Elkhorn with 41, Columbus SCOTUS, and Syracuse with 36. Now, York and Elkhorn both lose some top-end points from graduation. York, you lose Trenton Kohler, long and triple jumper, got second in both of those events. And then for Elkhorn, Austin Yardley, who won the 3,200 and mile last year in Class B. So you got 16 points York's got to find. Elkhorn, that was 20, along with Yardley placing in the 800 last year. Now, projected, I've got Columbus SCOTUS, the Shamrocks. And athletes to watch for: 2, both sprinters and the long jumper. But I've got Cody and I've got Dylan. Cody Morozek is from Columbus SCOTUS. He was first in long jump and the 400 last year, along with second in the 200. Now, he was second in the 200 to Dylan, who was from Norfolk Catholic, and Dylan was a freshman last year and won the 100 and 200. So that's an amazing talent, but also amazing work ethic to have that. Now, Cody, I know, or I should say I believe, is competing at Nebraska next year for the Cornhuskers. So he's going to a great program. Know he will excel there, but looking forward to seeing him one more time through the high school and performing at state. Class A boys. Last year we had Millard West, the Wildcats, with 70, Papio La Vista Monarchs 57, and then the Omaha North Vikings with 53. Millard West loses a lot of points, actually over 30 points to graduation. Papio La Vista loses a lot, along with Omaha North. However, I still think Millard West Wildcats come out on top, and there's a few reasons which we'll get to for athletes to watch for, but I think the Class A boys is probably the most open. Now, Kearney had a down year for their standards. They don't rebuild, they just reload. So you can look at Kearney coming back this year in their new facilities, their new school and track and all that. So I think the Class A boys, that was probably the hardest to predict on that one. And who knows, I could be wrong on all of these. Hopefully if you've been projected first, that I'm not. But athletes to watch for in the Class A boys, we've got Milo Greeter of Omaha West Side and Seth Hirsch of Millard West. Now these two are probably two of the best distance runners all time. I think we could argue, or maybe not, I wouldn't argue that Seth Hirsch is probably the best cross country and distance runner this state has ever seen. But Milo is getting right there, and it's because these two are such good friends and push each other that I can see these two breaking both the mile record and the 3,200 record that's held by Colby Whistle of Kearney, competed at Kansas afterwards. But the 4:10 mile record and the 8:55 3,200 record. Seth's going to have a good chance going out to Arcadia. But I think when these two run together, which they did after cross-country season, ran 8:59 in a time trial, that you're going to see some great things. Now, what are they all working for on this list? And that is May 19th and May 20th, state track at Omaha Burke Stadium in Omaha. Sessions are Class C and A are that first morning session starting at 9 a.m. with the 3,200 meter relay. The afternoon session starting at 3:30 will be D and B, and that's the 3,200 relay. Now all classes will compete to the same time. It'll be Class D, C, B, and A girls, and then boys D, C, B, and A. But Saturday starts at 9. Trust me, you're going to want to get out there a little before 9 to see the Special Olympics 100 meter dash. I'm so thankful that the NSAA has included this the last few years. To conclude our time today, we'd like to thank everybody again. I can't thank you enough. You're going to hear that a lot. We want to thank all those parents, student athletes, coaches, those people who I have leaned on a lot in this past year to two to kind of get Nebraska Elite Track Club off the ground and running. I want to thank Jason Rasmussen and Dave Samler, who are two of our board members who have been with us every step. And it was actually in the house at the kitchen table of Jason Rasmussen who had come up with this idea, and it just kind of expanded. That we want to be able to help, serve, love, and care every single student athlete in the state. Whether you make it to the state meet on May 19th or 20th or not, whether you're varsity, JV, this is your first time out, this is your fourth year, whatever we can do to help out, let us know. You can follow us on Twitter at Nebraska Elite Track Club. You can follow us on Instagram. You can email at nebraskaelitetc@gmail.com. You can get on our website, www.nebraskaelitetc.org, to see what's happening, how you get involved. Check out, videos that we've put up there for Tempo Tuesday. Where are they now? Just trying to promote the sport of track and field and cross country in this state and hopefully across the region. I've had people from the outside of the state really looking at what we're doing and really surprised and amazed and walking alongside us as well. So just thank you to all of you. Thank you to all the student athletes. I sure enjoy meeting you and talking to you, so never feel like you can't come up and just talk. You can't miss me with the beard. Love to hear your story beyond just track and field, but your story of, what school do you go to? What kind of classes are you involved in? What are you going to do beyond? How do you help the community? Things of that nature that really are the driving force behind Nebraska Elite Track Club. We want to serve, we want to love, we want to care. We want to promote this sport and promote you in any way we can. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we know where our priorities are at, and it's not maybe the results that most people would think it would be. But we just want to be there to help out any way we can and serve you. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We greatly appreciate it, and have a wonderful season.